noise, man. Get on. But I can't wait till I make turbo noise at the same time. Right, welcome back to the channel. The 370 is on all four wheels again. It's not turboed yet. We've done the sump spacer, we've done the rear brakes and handbrake. We've also done the gaskets between the decats. So all the exhaust now is airtight and the car stops as it should, and it's got the right amount of oil in and the sump spacer on. So I'm taking it for a drive. I'm going to compare it to this compared to the Turbo Civic and which one I prefer. I was going to do a 5 things that I love and hate, but it's almost identical to the Civic's one, so that would have been a complete waste of time. But we out in it again. I can't describe how happy I am to be back out in it, because them few days that I was on the ramp and I was having to drive the Civic for every journey took my head in a little bit, because I love this car. But yeah, it's, well, listen, how can you not love that noise, man? Get on. But I can't wait till I make turbo noise at the same time. Right, so the first point I'll start off with is practicality. The Civic is more practical. There's no question about it. It's got 4 seats, it's got a big boot, it's better on fuel, so for your everyday car, the Civic is really good. Even turbo, it makes no difference. This only has 2 seats, however, it does have a fucking huge boot. You can fit like three adult-sized bodies and a small child in the back. So if you're ever going on the hunt for people, like one of them creepy cunts, get yourself a 370. Nah, I'm joking, that'll definitely get monetized on YouTube. But the boot is huge, you can definitely fit quite a lot in the boot. But the Civic unfortunately wins on practicality. As much as that pains us to say it just is more practical. Maintenance. The next thing we'll literally talk about is the maintenance thing. Now, everyone expects the 370 to be way more expensive than the Civic, and in some cases it is, for like clutches, things like that, but day-to-day maintenance of the car, it's just not a great deal more expensive. The Civic is a tiny bit cheaper, and I mean like £10 or £20 cheaper on parts, but mainly they're roughly the same, so you're not going to be spending a great deal more with your 370 than you would on your Turbo Civic. So to me, that's a bit of a win. The brakes are a slightly bit more expensive, but they are a lot bigger, and the two pots at the back and 4 pots at the front, so you kind of expect that. Other than that, general maintenance, they're about equal. I cannot contain myself with this fucking noise. Oh yeah. You just brake in front of me, mate. Fucking soundboard. Aftermarket support. Right, so I've thought about this quite a lot, this one, because the Civics have just like a massive community. I mean, it's a massive community full of knobheads, like probably the most community full of knobheads out of all the car groups, but it is massive, and there's a lot of knowledgeable people. The 370Z forum, there's about 270 people, unless you join the American forums. So the knowledge in that is probably still there if you find the right person. It's just not as accessible, would be the best thing. However, the aftermarket support is in parts-wise, they're about the same, to be quite honest. You can get a lot of parts for these, you can get a lot of parts for the Civics. I've got no complaints. I think it's just the JDM market in general. You get a lot of parts for well-used and well-known JDM cars, so I can't really complain about that. The parts for these, however, are fucking massively more expensive than the Civics. I don't know why. I do, because they attract a certain type of clientele, I suppose is the right word. And if I was the business selling the parts or creating the parts, and then I'd also do that, because people tend to spend a lot more money with these. I don't know why, it seems to be the way it is. But again, it's pretty equal to the Civic as far as aftermarket support goes. The knowledge maybe is not, but the actual parts and everything, it's 6 and 2 3s to which one you go for. What they like to live with every day. So the 370Z attracts a lot of attention, and I mean everywhere I go, there's either people complimenting us for a petrol station. I love going to the petrol station. I love it, because every single person walking up from the pump to inside the petrol station will compliment us about it. And I love that, because that's the whole idea of you doing your car. You do it for yourself, but you also do it because you want people to say a nice car or stuff like that. So I love that. The Civic actually gets no attention, really. It gets attention from the police because of the big front intercooler, but from other people, unless they know about Civics, it gets none. So I prefer the 370 day to day, literally for that reason alone. Plus, the 370 is a lot more of a comfier car. It's got a lot more things inside. It's cruise control, speed limiter, sat nav, DAB radio. It's got Bose sound system. So to drive the car every day, it's just a nice, comfy car. The Civics are a lot more raw. If you've got an Ep3, you know how raw they are. And then with the turbo on top, it's vicious. You fight with it. The 370, you plant it everywhere you go, so it's lovely to drive. Now, which one would I rather own if I didn't have both? For pure enjoyment, it's the Civic. For everything else, it's the 370. I absolutely love this car. I love the sound of it. I love the sort of the attention it gets. I love the feel of the drive of it. I love how smooth it is. I love how naughty speeds don't feel like naughty speeds in it. Especially when I go to that Mexico, that Mexico that no one knows about, and everyone seems to put on YouTube videos, oh, racing in Mexico with the British signs in the background, and the police definitely don't know that. But this, I feel like once you get over 140 in it, you're still completely planted, where the Civics, you're over 100 and you're holding on for dear life. So I prefer this by a long way. Now, the only thing that I would say that I don't like about this, which is not really a bad thing, but it sort of is. I'm terrified everywhere I take it. If you've seen the car from the outside, I've got a lot of carbon fibre on it. I've got a lot of expensive parts that I worked hard to get hold of, and I am terrified wherever I take it that someone's either going to lean on the wings and smash the carbon fibre, or it's going to get scratched, or I'm going to take it out in some really shitty weather and I'm going to bin it, because I love the car. And don't get us wrong, I love the Civic, but I'm not that arsed about it. Like, if someone damages it, because I deal with Civics all the time, I've got the parts there to sort it out. Or if I damage it, I've got the parts there to sort it out. So it terrifies me driving this. Not driving it, but terrifies me taking it places. I mean, I won't put my foot down in it because the noise is just... What I will say about this compared to the Civic is the gears are so long in this as well. Like, that was just a... I don't even know what gear was in there. That was just like a 5th gear pull. And it just lasts and lasts and lasts. And it's got instant torque, and the power sort of instant, so that's a bit different with the Turbo Civic. But the 370, I can't compare them as in the same class of car, because they're not. The Civic's a hot hatch. This is whatever the fuck they want to call it. It's not particularly a fast car out the factory, but it's also not a slow car. I mean, even before I got it mapped, we were doing draggy times, and I got a 4.1 to 60, which is fucking mint, like in any terms of car. 4.1 second to 60 is class. And that was on the road in front of the unit, which is just a completely straight road with no incline decline. It's a perfect place to test, really, for anyone local watching. We do not test cars there. We do not test them at all. So you didn't see this video, and I'm not the dickhead who's waking you up on a night. Just remember that. But anyone else watching, I'm the dickhead who drives the car and tests them out along there. And the car's brilliant. It is just a brilliant car for that. The Civic also gets good times, but the Civic has a turbo on. This doesn't yet, so it'll be more of a better comparison once this has got a turbo on. The fuel on this is pretty damn shit. I've been driving this nice well, I haven't actually been driving it because it's been on the ramp, but previously it had been on the ramp. I've been driving it quite steady and everything, and the max I was getting was like 13.6 miles per gallon, and I think that's what I'm on now. It costs about 94 to 98 quid to fill the tank, and I get about 180 miles roughly, so it's pretty shit. It is pretty shit, but I didn't buy the car thinking it was going to be mint. I don't do a lot of miles, and I daily the Civic. I sort of like switch between them on a daily basis. Like I might pop to the shop, come home and switch into a different car to go to work, or vice versa. So I use them both about the same as each other. But I don't, like I say, I don't do a lot of miles in them both really, because work's so close and everything that I need is so close. So there's no real need for us to go that far. Oh fuck, I'm tired. One thing I will say that this beats the Civic on hands down is the in-cabin sort of feel. This is so much better of a car inside of this area. I've got a really stupid loud exhaust on this, but I can just sit and talk and be completely civil with passengers and not have to scream and shout at them. It just seems to eliminate a lot of road noise, where the Civic is, you can hear fucking everything, like literally every single noise you can hear, and it rattles, and it's just genuine fucking old Japanese crap. Where this is a little bit more modern, but yeah, it's still got quite a raw feeling engine and everything else, but it just feels modern and it feels nice to drive. It's a difficult one, because I do like the cars. I like both of them as equal as each other. Just the Civic is a little less classy, if that makes sense. I'm more likely to be called a dickhead in the Civic, where in this people kind of just accept and nod. So I've got to say, I just prefer this. I just prefer this. It's one of the cars that I wake up and I look out the window and I'm like, fucking that's mint. And I don't know, I just prefer the 370 every day of the week. And I've probably had nearly every car going, but this is the only car that I've generally thought, I want to keep this car. I've not even thought about selling it or anything like that. It's just class. I mean, it might change my mind if I start having fucking mega problems with it and it becomes a fuck on, but at the minute I can't see me ever getting rid of this yet. I'll run this to the ground, which is probably a fair few more years with it being low mileage. But yeah, sort of, I want to do a video, sort of a bit of review of the 370 in comparison to the Civic, and to conclude, they're both very good in different areas. They're both very quick cars, but the 370 I just love it. It's just a much better car in every sense. Reliability wise as well, it's supposed to be pretty damn reliable. I mean, mine's not really caused me any problems, so I don't know what that's going to change when it's boosted. but for just everyday reliability, it's not much different to the Civic. The only thing about these is I feel like, I don't know how to describe it. The Civic's a very fun car to throw around the bends. These are not heavy and they don't feel boaty. The 350s feel very boaty and very sluggish. This feels fast and it feels mint around corners. This just feels a lot more planted than the Civics, but yet the Civics I feel like I enjoy driving more, like around the twisties. Flying this around the bends feels mint, but the Civics I just have that feel. I don't know if that's because you're only like a crisp packet away from death in it, where this you've got at least a fucking massive bonnet and feel like you've got a good chunk of metal around you. I'm not sure, but I prefer this. I prefer the Civic, sorry, for the twisties, where this for straight line speed and high speeds, definitely this, because it just doesn't seem to feel like you're doing them speeds. But yeah, I have raced this against the Civic. This is currently mapped on ECU Tech. It's got 4 switchable maps. All the features, all the shit like that I had done. We got it done off RS tuning. I won't be going back there for the turbo map, and not because they're bad or anything like that, just because I want them to go to either Abbey Motorsport or Horsham Development, whichever one seems to give me the most knowledge and seems to talk the way. There's other places I could go, but just dickhead, mate. And it's like I said, it's got all the bells and whistles, but the Civic Turbo absolutely knacks it in the straight lines. However, as it gets over like 120 mile an hour, this starts to come back and feels better, and you've got more balls to go speed in this. Like, you can just keep on going and going and going. It doesn't feel like it's going to stop, where the Civic feels like they kind of run out of puff, and I don't know how to describe that. It's like, they're still fast and everything, they just top end, I don't like them. I don't know if it's because I'm more wary of them top end on the road, especially that one with the track and shit. But the Nissan just doesn't feel like I'm doing that sort of speed at all. But other than that, there's not much I can really say on the difference of them. The Civic, like I say, I enjoy both of them probably about as much as each other. Noise wise, I love the Nissan over every car, not even just over the Civic. The noise of the V6 out of these Nissans and the 350s and the GTRs is just, you can't really beat it, can it? So I can't wait to hear this with the turbo on as well. The Civics, again, they sound good turboed, but that fucking back end fart cannon noise, just where someone just flies past and you just know it's a Civic, you just think, you fucking bender. You don't really get that with the Nissans. Everyone sort of like nods their head in agreement that they sound good. But yeah, that's a small little video. The Civic video got quite a good response of us just driving around and talking about it, so I thought I'd do the same with this. Yeah, that's it for the Nissan.